Today is December 3rd, 2024. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Crawley. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sorry. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. For those of you who are calling in, please ensure that your line is muted. Is there approval of the minutes for the November 14th and November 19th, 2024 budget hearings?
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
First is domestic relations.
Resolution number 92724, resolution authorizing a contract with Alpha and Omega Limited Holding doing business as Xenia Laundromat for linen and laundry services at the Franklin County Juvenile Intervention Center in the amount of $46,550.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
From Fiscal Manager. This resolution is requesting to award a one-year contract to Alpha and Omega LT Holding, DBA Xenia Laundromat, to provide linen and laundry services at the Franklin County Juvenile Intervention Center. Competitive sealed bids were opened on October 10th, 2024 by the Purchasing Department with a total of 5 bids received. The contract cost is estimated to be $46,550. Pending any questions, the court requests your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 92724.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady? Yes. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 92724 has been adopted. Resolution number 92824, resolution authorizing the second contract extension with Summit Food Service, LLC, to provide, manage, and operate a food service program for the Franklin County Juvenile Intervention Center in the amount of $660,000.
This resolution is requesting a one-year contract extension of the Juvenile Intervention Center food service vendor Summit Food Service. The contract was originally bid through the Purchasing Department 2022. The contract extension allows for an increase based upon the Consumer Price Index for food away from home, which resulted in a 3.9% price increase, and amending Section 8 of Appendix B scope of work to include additional language for sanitation. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 92824.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 92824 has been adopted.
Thank you. Probate court.
Thank you.
Resolution number 92924, resolution authorizing a contract for services with Rising the Bar Performance Group, LLC, to provide probate court with management, consulting, leadership capacity building, and related training and coaching services in the amount of $58,800.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kelly Green, Chief Magistrate for the Franklin County Probate Court. I'm here this morning to present a resolution authorizing the board to enter into a contract with Raising the Bar Performance Group, LLC, on behalf of the probate court. As part of the services, Raising the Bar will provide one-on-one and group training for all levels of the court's management team to build leadership capacity. They will help establish and advise a diversity, equity, and inclusion champion group. And finally, they will complete a training needs assessment and provide 2 trainings for all staff based on that assessment. The contract will be effective upon execution and will expire upon completion of services, and the contract has a not-to-exceed amount of $58,800. Pending any questions, I respectfully ask for approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 92924.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady? Yes. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 92924 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk Courts.
Resolution 93024, resolution authorizing a second lease extension and modification of lease space for the Clerk of Courts North Auto Title Branch with Gray Gables Realty LLC in the amount of $149,930.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Rich Sims, Director of Auto Title for the Clerk of Courts. The clerk's auto title North Branch lease with Gray Gables Realty LLC is expiring on January 29th, 2025. Today's resolution extends that lease for an additional 12 months through January 29th, 2026. This new lease has a not-to-exceed amount of $149,930. Pending any questions, the clerk's office respectfully requests approval of resolution number 0930-24.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 93024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 93024 has been adopted.
Thank you. Engineer.
Resolution number 93124, resolution authorizing disposition of personal property, including motor vehicles and equipment, which are no longer needed for public use, are obsolete, or are unfit for the use it was acquired, and authorizing the Franklin County engineer to dispose of said items by transferring title by internet auction.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brad Foster, Franklin County Engineer. Commissioners, this resolution seeks authorization to declare equipment obsolete and authorizes the sale or proper disposal of the identified equipment. The Franklin County Engineer's Office will observe the requirements of the Ohio Revised Code and the Franklin County Board of Commissioners Resolution 0276-24 that was adopted on April 2nd, 2024. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 93124.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution 93124 has been adopted. Resolution number 93224, authorizing the Franklin County engineer to use county forces during 2025 for maintenance and repair projects involving county roads, bridges, and culverts within the limits established by the Ohio Revised Code.
Commissioners, this resolution is an annual resolution seeking authorization to use county forces to maintain and repair roads, bridges, and culverts for 2025 calendar year. The Ohio Revised Code has established maximum cost estimates of $73,500 per mile for roads and $244,650 for bridges and culverts. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 93224.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady. Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 93224 has been adopted. Resolution number 93324, resolution requesting the Ohio Department of Transportation to reduce the speed limit on Lockbourne Road, County Road number 13, Hamilton Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, our third resolution seeks authorization to request the Ohio Department of Transportation to investigate the speed limit on Lockbourne Road, north of London Groveport Road to the Columbus Corp line. The engineer's office has determined that the speed limit reduction from 50 to 45 would be appropriate. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 93324.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady. Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 93324 has been adopted. Resolution number 93424, resolution authorizing the Franklin County engineer to modify and renew a contract with MP Dory Company for the 2025 Franklin County Traffic Signal Maintenance Program.
Commissioners, our final resolution seeks to renew a contract with MP Dory for the 2025 Franklin County Traffic Signal Maintenance Program. The board approved resolution number 0906-22, awarding to MP Dory the contract for the 23 Franklin County Signal Maintenance Program. The contract allows a maximum of 2 years extension with the agreement of both the contractor and the county engineer. This is the second renewal of the contract. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 93424.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady. Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 93424 has been adopted.
President Boyce, I'd ask for, if you give me a brief moment, this will be my last general session for 2024. It's an honor and privilege to be standing here to serve as a Ninth County engineer. I would like to thank Dean Rangel, along with Cornell Robertson, for providing me an opportunity and an encouragement to create a legacy of action, innovation, and collaboration. During the 22 years of working at the engineer's office, I've had a front seat to learn about leadership and policies that have moved our office forward. I would like to take what I've learned and continue to provide high-level service to the residents and employees at the engineer's office. The engineer's office has a strong team and passionate about our work. Commissioners, I appreciate the collaboration and the support that you've provided to the office. I'm humbled by the trust that you've instilled in me, and I'm committed to providing a smooth transition for the new county engineer, moving forward so that we can serve together, every resident, every day. Thank you.
Yeah, you can. Well, let me just begin by saying it has been a pleasure to work with you, and your dedication, your service is exemplary. And what I know about the engineer's office is it's one of those divisions that the public doesn't necessarily see and feel their work every day, but you're there. The public doesn't necessarily see and feel the safety that you create, but it's there. The public doesn't necessarily see the strategy and the planning that goes in to meticulously provide those culverts, bridges, and roadways, pathways for commerce, for residential living, for education, health, and all those things, but it's there. And I know that I speak on behalf of all of the residents of Franklin County when I say thank you. Thank you for your service, and thank you for your leadership and stepping up to ensure that we didn't miss a beat over the last several months. And so I know I speak on behalf of my colleagues. I mean, they may want to speak themselves, but if not, I know I speak on behalf of them when we simply say thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Any other comment?
I just want to say thank you as well, Brad. Thank you, Commissioner Boyce. Thanks as well, Brad, for your time in office and the work that you've done over not only the last many months, but also the last number of years of your service. As a resident of a township, I do get to see your guys' work on a regular basis, everything from plowing the streets to the work that you guys do in my neighborhood. So, and even when, we see some of the impact on a regular basis. And so I see the trucks in the neighborhood on a regular basis for any number of things. And so they do, when they plowed, or when they paved my street this year and remarked it and did a great job. So we see them on a regular basis, and they do a fantastic work on behalf of the residents of Franklin County. So
Thank you, Commissioner.
thanks for your work, but also thanks for the work of your department.
I just want to say thank you for your service, and it's no easy feat to come in behind a engineer Robinson and try to fill those shoes or keep the office running as it had, but you did it, and you did it effortlessly and seamlessly. Thank you so much for your years of service. Look forward to you continuing on, hopefully in the engineer's office, and that we get to continue to see your work be transformative. So thank you for stepping in, and thank you for all that you've done.
Yep. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, continuing on, Sheriff's Office.
Resolution number 93524, resolution supporting the Sheriff's Office to continue as lead agency in the countywide DUI task force, and the approval of contracts with 22 member agencies participating on the countywide DUI task force in the amount of $224,910.97.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Albert Smith, Assistant Finance Director for the Sheriff's Office. Our resolution will allow the Sheriff's Office to continue as a lead agency for the countywide DUI task force and to help reduce alcohol-related traffic accidents through sobriety checkpoints and saturation patrols. Duties will include administration, implementation, and oversight of a $224,910.97 grant offered by the Ohio Department of Public Safety, Ohio Traffic Safety Office. A second portion of this resolution approves the contracts required by the state for other law enforcement agencies within Franklin County that will be participating on the task force. There are 22 contracts that will be approved with this resolution. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 935-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 935-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Franklin County Data Center.
Resolution number 936-24, resolution authorizing a supplemental contract agreement with SHI International Corporation for the procurement of a work order tracking solution, including estimates and billing, in the amount of $922.90.
Good morning, Julie Lust with the Data Center, and with me today is Adam Frumkin, Data Center CIO. This resolution approves the procurement and acceptance of terms for FileMaker Pro. This software will be utilized by the Franklin County Print Shop for work order management with an annual cost of $922.30. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 936-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 936-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 937-24, resolution authorizing a software as a service agreement with Popo Company for the procurement of a digital community outreach solution in the amount of $2,640.
Thank you. And this resolution approves the procurement and acceptance of terms for POPL. This software will be utilized by Franklin County Public Health as an environmentally friendly solution for digital community outreach. Public Health will use this software not only for digital business cards, but also to create digital outreach material that is accessible with a scannable QR code with an annual cost of $2,640. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 937-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 937-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 938-24, resolution authorizing contract modification number 1 and extension number 1 with CDW Government LLC for CrowdStrike cybersecurity, antivirus, and ransomware protection services in the amount of $145,444.02.
Thank you. And this resolution authorizes the first contract modification and a one-year extension of our enterprise cybersecurity, antivirus, and ransomware software. This technology solution reduces the risk of breaches, ransomware, and cyber attacks powered by a leading U.S. cybersecurity organization. Pending any questions, we respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 937-24.
Second.
I'm sorry, 938-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 938-24 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you as well. Community partnerships.
Resolution number 939-24, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with the Rise Together Innovation Institute in support of their strategic roadmap in the amount of $1,250,000.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration, Curtis Brown, Community Partnerships Administrator. This resolution will provide a COVID-19 grant in the amount of $1,250,000 to assist with the RISE Innovation Institute in their strategic roadmap. A core focus of the strategic planning process will include fostering pilot development and driving innovation within the human services ecosystem. Important initiatives such as the launch of the Guaranteed Income Pilot will be prioritized to demonstrate the organization's commitment to transformative approaches in addressing community needs. Danielle Sidnor, CEO of the Rise Together Innovation Institute, is here to provide further information and answer any questions. And if there are no questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
Good morning, Commissioners and administrative staff. My name again is Danielle Sidnor, CEO of Rise Together Innovation Institute. Thank you, Curtis, for teeing up the important resolution that we have in front of us for support of Rise Together. Many of us remember the Franklin County Commissioners coming together in what I think is a very unique way to fund an organization that would focus on not just the individual systemic issues related to poverty, but the conversation about poverty itself. And so from the inception of the Blueprint Report on reducing poverty to where we are today, we've been really focused on thinking about ways that we can get at the root cause issues. While 39% of people in Franklin County are what we would call asset limited, income constrained, meaning they don't have enough resources to take care of their basic needs, our population focus is around the 15% of people who are currently experiencing poverty. When we look at the investment that the commissioners are making into this work, we wouldn't be able to give all of those individuals the dollars necessary to get them out of poverty with the funding that we're providing. But what we can do is look at how we get at the root cause issues that they're experiencing. Things like access to transportation, access to better education, access to high-quality jobs, and making sure that we're looking at innovations within how we deliver human services. So we're respectfully asking for the support to further our work, being able to do things like our guaranteed income pilot and other developments that we'll talk about in our next resolution.
Are there any comments or questions?
No, I don't have any. Oh, if there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 939-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 939-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 940-24, resolution authorizing a COVID-19 grant agreement with the Rise Together Innovation Institute to support the development of a community information exchange in the amount of $11 million.
Commissioners, this resolution will provide a COVID-19 grant in the amount of $11 million to support the establishment of a community information exchange. The Community Information Exchange, or CIE initiative, is a collaborative systems change effort that brings together diverse stakeholders to co-create solutions responding to community needs. This work is housed at Smart Columbus in partnership with the Rise Together Innovation Institute and is governed by the CIE Executive Council. Jordan Davis, Executive Director of Smart Columbus, is here to provide additional information and will be happy to answer any questions. And if there are no questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution. Kenny is going to go first. Kenny is.
Good morning, Commissioners. President Boyce, Commissioner Crowley, O'Grady, thank you for everything you do every day to help us take steps towards our vision of becoming the most prosperous place in the country. As you know, we're working every day on economic development alongside you to bring quality jobs and investments to the region and to the county. I'm here to speak today about the other side of prosperity, which is to close gaps and to clear pathways. And I think CIE is absolutely one of those initiatives. The private sector has been involved the entire way in the working groups that the team has initiated from the ground up. Jordan and her team have done a great job with Danielle to talk to caseworkers, to talk to residents, to do this from a user standpoint, and that's included people all across our community. Our healthcare institutions, they're part of our business community, have been deeply involved in this process and are supportive as well. And I think we'll be even more supportive as we move forward. I just want to thank you for the investment you made initially so that we could get to this day and continue to have this conversation about the Community Information Exchange and what's possible. And that investment has not only been in your dollars, but in your time and your effort of your entire team, including your IT staff and all of the staff of the county, thinking about the hard work that you do every day. Prevention of poverty, as Danielle was just speaking about, is as important as solving it once people are in an unstable situation. And CIE investment, I think, is one way to do that, to allow people to take advantage of these great opportunities that are being created here every day in the Columbus region. So thank you on behalf of the business sector. There's strong support for this initiative, and there's strong support for your investment in this initiative as well. So thank you, and I'll turn it over to Danielle.
No, Kenny, before you step away, a couple questions for you.
Please.
One, thank you so much for being here today. we've talked about the Columbus Way, and for those who are part of our listening audience, it's really a concept that as a community we try to engage together from a business perspective, public perspective, and other perspective. And that's really what this conversation is indicative of, that you're representing. For those who may be listening and don't know, Kenny McDonald represents the Columbus Partnership, which is a collection of some of our largest corporate institutions and leaders, quite frankly, to help bring their collective voice to the conversation on projects such as this. Embedded in that, though, Kenny, is the idea of sustainability. Our ability, we make the investment. It's easy for, it's not easy, it's never easy, but it's simple for the county to make initial investments. But in order for projects like this, with the depth that it's supposed to have an impact that it's supposed to have, it requires sustainability. And our funding will not be able to last forever. And so that's where ideally the private sector comes in. And so can you talk a little bit about where this type of concept and project fits in the partnership's investment? Because the partnership isn't just a talking body, they make investments. They actually do real investment kind of work. And so could you spend a second talking about that? And then second, my second question, Kenny, would be, you are known around the country as an economic development specialist, and a very good one, I might add. But talk about how the data will be used when it comes to business decisions, whether it's locating here, whether it's expansion, or even some of the existing conversations. I think that would be helpful both for this body and the public.
I'll take the second question first and just reiterate, whenever we actually have a client, and that could be a company that's already in our region or a new one considering our market, they want to know how we're going to increase labor force participation. It's a tight labor market. Demographics are sort of working against us when we're working on major job creation projects these days. And more than ever, people are showing up and saying, how are you clearing pathways for more and more of your people to go to work across your region? And initiatives like this, and there is no one way to do it, but initiatives like this are one way we actually make that more possible to people from getting into situations where they don't have housing or that they can't take a full-time job because they're working too hard, working the system trying to get access and help. And so systems like this are just a great way. And the question is asked more than people understand of our team on the ground. I'll speak a little bit about the business community and the sustainability. Both the large companies as well as the large institutions that we have across the market have foundations. And like Franklin County, they're some of the largest investors in our major nonprofit organizations. And so they care deeply about the efficiency, the collaboration, the innovation that's going to take place in our nonprofit sector so that their investments and their dollars, like you, go farther and help more people. And so I think they share the same values. There's a deep commitment to continuing to make these investments. And these kinds of innovations, I think, draw even more people to the table. And they draw mid-sized companies and other people in our business community to also support those nonprofit efforts that are doing this work and need the IT help, the innovation help to allow us to do things differently so that 15% number doesn't stay 15%, but it could become something less than that as we go forward.
I'll just add to a couple of things that I want to emphasize. Okay. I want
County infrastructure at work.
I see. I also sit on the board of One Columbus, which is also under Kenny's purview. That's part of my county seat here. But all of those decisions around housing and jobs, so forth, et cetera, are data-driven. And I want to make sure it's understood that when companies come into town, we're going to talk about what undergirds the strength of our community, and that it's measured by those who are most challenged among us, how they're living. The analysis that occur are all data-driven. It's easy to say we want to invest in this area, but it's another thing to say, here's how your company directly connects to that, here's how you'll benefit, and here's how you'll grow and be able to sustain your company, because that's, that's what they care about. At the end of the day, they want to get here and be successful. And if you can't show them the pathway and show them where they get the bang for the buck, then it becomes a harder argument. And I know that from being part of your One Columbus organization.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The second thing, though, I wanted to just point out is that, this is not a cheap endeavor. Data and building a data system in time like today, this infrastructure is very expensive. And I can think of a lot of things to do with this money. I can think of rent subsidies and homeless shelters and all the things, the food with collective. But it's important that the public understand why this type of investment is critical to providing those services. And that's why I just want to emphasize as we go through the rest of the speakers today, I don't want to under-highlight or not highlight enough the use of the data to carry out the services that benefit those who are most challenged among us. And I might get too many calls, and I'm sure my colleagues do as well.
That's right.
Too many calls on people who can't make their rent, single moms who are on their last stretch of just trying to make it, working 2 jobs and trying to get to work and do the things they need to do. And so, I want them to say, well, you're putting money into this technology system or data system, but I need this. But we need the information to inform us in the right way so that we can deploy resources in the future that really get at what Danielle Sidnor was describing, which is the deeper root of the problem, and trying to really zero in on it in a way that's like a laser beam destroying a cell within a system that tends to multiply. And so I just don't want to underestimate that, because it will be the business community that will have to sustain this, and it's just that simple. There's nothing that we've done at this level that starts by government and then just carries out in perpetuity. It is a partnership and I'll remember that you were here supporting this and saying that, because this is probably the easier lift. The sustainability is the harder lift.
Yeah.
And that's where we really get into meaningful investment. I mean, it's always meaningful to start, but it's another thing to sustain this. And that's where the real work comes in. We start to pull that data down and make decisions, and we'll have to upgrade the technology at that point, because it'll be obsolete 3 years from now, and that's where the business community will come in and be important. I had the opportunity, last one I'll say to you, Ken, had the opportunity of being with the partnership on a retreat recently. And I know they focused on housing and focused on, I know the city's looking at scholarships and different things to pipeline kids into Columbus State and whatnot. But this system actually would inform both of those.
Absolutely.
So that we could do it in a more strategic and tactical way. Now we're kind of doing affordable housing, but are we looking at infrastructure? Are we looking at municipal needs and the stretch beyond the municipalities and townships and so forth, like Commissioner O'Grady just described? And so I just didn't want to rip through this legislation without a very serious presentation. Not that that wasn't a serious presentation, but without just that, the feedback and the partnership in the business community is crucial to this.
I agree.
I said it to Jordan Davis when she first presented, that the way to carry this out will be that you've got to show investment, and we've got to all be at the table. And I'm reading this book right now, and there's a section where it talks about where Barack Obama said in 2009 or whatever, we're all in this together, and what that really means from a technical banking standpoint. But it's the same for this.
Yeah.
When we're all in this together, I mean, this is one of those things that the county's doing, but every municipality, every township, every resident, every day will be a part of this system, and the outcomes more importantly. And so I just didn't want to get through that without emphasizing and highlighting the partnership's relationship in this conversation.
Well, thank you, and we agree. Your leadership to make the foundational investment is not just a catalyst. It does, we understand that it comes with responsibility as well. Thank you.
So-
Commissioner Gray.
I just wanted to say thank you to Jordan for continuing the day in and day out heavy lift of, you know, I mean, we made an initial investment early on, a while ago. But in the meantime, we continued to ask for, you know, all the detail and all the hard work. Because, you know, it's, as Commissioner Boyce said, it's one thing, you know, it's one thing to make an investment, but it's another thing when we have these, you know, when we have all of these other things that we need to fund, you know, it almost, for a long time, you know, we kept saying it, you know, it's hard to fund a concept. It's hard to fund data. It's hard to fund these things when you have people, you know, knocking at your door day in and day out. And, you know, we kept asking, you know, I had out, you know, I don't know how many conversations with you, Jordan, on virtual conversations in particular, and conversations with Ken and Joy, you know, where we continued to talk about this. And you kept doing the work, putting in the time. Kenny had a couple conversations with Kenny about this as well, because we needed to be certain. We needed to know. This is a big investment, and so we appreciate you guys and your tenacity, and you guys in the work that you continue to do to get us here today. Because if it wasn't for that, you know, this would have been that much more difficult, and it would have been. You know, so the work that you guys did, you put in to be able to get us to where we are, is a big deal. You know, and this data, this work, as Commissioner Boyce indicated, will be able to help inform not only you guys, but it'll be able to help inform the work that we're going to do going forward. And so we appreciate the work that you've done over the last many months to get us to where we are, and the work that you did with our staff, and the work that you did with so many other folks to get us to where we are. Because and oh, by the way, the folks on our team, Adam and his people, and Joy and her people, to be able to get us to where we are. So thank you.
I feel like we disrupted your whole, you guys had like a tag team routine going on, but I don't know. I think Commissioner Wilson and we'll go Commissioner Crawley.
I defer to Commissioner.
Well, I was gonna, because I know Jordan probably had a spill that she wanted to say, so I could have waited till everybody was done. Thank you for being here. I think, you know, when we think about infrastructure, like, one, we need the data. But when I think about infrastructure, I don't know, when I think about infrastructure, I think about the nonprofits, or the smaller nonprofits who are doing grassroots work, who see our families, our neighbors on a regular basis, but don't have the capacity necessarily to upgrade their IT capabilities, their data systems, to be able to, you know, participate as this builds and grows. And so I would be looking at the partnership or the business community, as the county is the largest funder, often the largest funder for these nonprofits that, you know, that serve our neighbors. And then we have this large investment here today. I think about Franklin County Public Health, where 2 years ago we had to invest, I don't know, $775,000 or $750,000 for Franklin County Public Health to upgrade IT, to be able to one day, you know, be a partner. And I know they're in the pilot, or was in the pilot for, you know, for their data. And so, for the business community, I will be looking at them like, hey, our nonprofits, our smaller nonprofits need help and support as we continue on this path. But then for long-term sustainability, our funds are finite, and as we all well know. And the county will, we're here today, but need to be real partners hand in hand as we help our nonprofits get to where they need to be to support our residents in a way that's meaningful and transformative as we think that this, the CIE will be. The other thing I will say is for those who are listening in, who, as Commissioner Boyce said, see that this is a large investment. We know that in the state of Ohio, whether it was me at the legislature or here now at the county, data is always lacking, is always a gap. And so I hope that, as we build the CIE, that at least Franklin County will be able to be a leader in this space and having data or disaggregated data to be able to help our residents, but also being able to connect them with services and resources in a meaningful way where we can really track how we are moving people up in economic scale so they can be self-sufficient for themselves and their lives, so they can thrive and not just survive. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Administrator Wilson, you want to go or you want to let? You want?
Go ahead and let
No, you
them
can go if you want.
I'll be brief. I just want to say that, this is critical, as has been stated, that this is a public-private partnership, because if approved today, this is one-time COVID relief monies that the county has available to make strategic investments such as this that are important. But this is far from being the end if approved today as far as $11 million is concerned, because the way the agreement is structured, this will go through July of 2026 if all is successful and we're able to meet all the benchmarks. And we definitely going in this with the attitude that we will succeed. But we have to be stewards of these dollars. And the work just begins as far as we getting into the nitty-gritty of making this a reality. And I hope we have a name very soon that the entire community can wrap its arms around to understand what this really is and what this can really mean and what it has to mean for the community, because it has to be something that is tangible, something that goes along with the digital equity investment, something that goes along with Columbus Promise, which is a public-private partnership, something that goes along with the housing partnership that is under development. All of these pieces have to go together, and the investment in the community information exchange, to be known as something, must be elevated and appreciated. It is critical that our health and human services agencies are at the table and we work through all of the regulatory barriers that will complement our nonprofit community. So I know this has been done in other parts of the country, so we have that advantage to get it right and do it better. So thank you. Thank you, President Boyce. Thank you, Commissioner Crowley.
Absolutely. Ms. Davis?
Sure. Thank you, President Boyce, Commissioner Crawley, Commissioner O'Grady. I'm just not going to say my remarks and kind of jump into some of the things that you all said. It is really an honor to be here today as a culmination of a lot of work, and thank you, Commissioner O'Grady, for acknowledging the persistence, but it's not just me. There's a whole coalition of people that have grown around this work because they see the value, and it's very much focused on every resident every day, and thank you all for pushing the team and pushing this work to continue that lens and to get more and more focused on what problem are we solving. We've been deeply engaged with residents and caseworkers who have lived experience navigating social services, and I think they were ready for this solution yesterday. The amount of stories of navigating and trying to get help are fraught with frustration, time loss, loss of time that has led to even more crisis. And we're continuing to lose people and trust in the process. And as much as we want to say there's a health and human services system, I think under DCA Bivens' leadership, you all are creating a system between your 4 agencies there's no system in the social services sector. All these CBOs, whether it's in housing, workforce, they work in silos and very rarely cross organizations, let alone cross sector. And so this is requiring more than technology. This is a full-on systems change. And as you mentioned, time and time again, this is a long-term effort. It's not just a one-time investment and all of a sudden we have the perfect data system and all we have to do is operate and maintain it. We have to build a coalition of stakeholders in the private sector and the public sector and the nonprofit sector that are in this for the long term to really change the way we deliver outcomes to residents. And that includes the small organizations as well as the big organizations. For 2 years, we've done a handful of pilots to demonstrate this is feasible and this is possible. We've studied best practices around the country to show that it's possible and it's doable. We've learned, I think we've identified the most replicable examples, and then we've identified where in the system we can do better. Where in the country are they not doing what we can do in Columbus because of who we are and the resources we have, and we have a great pathway to do that. We've built a team. We have the former Chief Technology Officer of The Ohio State University, former interim CIO, who's leading our technology. We have our data leader here, Dr. Ayaz Haider, who we recruited from Ohio State. He has been probably the leading trusted advisor on health equity and modeling around situations of public health and in COVID and the like, works with your public health department as well. We have a product leader, and we have an administrative program management officer as well, and we have several other kind of data scientists, which means we're ready to implement. This is a fast timeline. It's 2 years to get a lot done. So what are we going to build? So we are thinking of the CIE initiative in 6 components. Technology is one of those components. It is the most expensive component, but it is one of. The other components are around the data framework, the insights. How do we make sure that we're getting, to your point, Commissioner Boyce, about how do we start to get laser focused on where to anticipate need, where is there duplication that shouldn't be duplication, or where is there not enough that there needs to be more. All of that comes from informed community insights, right, and doing something with the data. And so that's another part of this work as well. And then a lot of the other work is in systems change. How do we change the way that we operate? We have a whole work stream around changing our workflows within organizations and collectively as a system. How do we communicate between agencies? Right now, that's really informal, ad hoc, unorganized, and not reliable. We need to change that. We need to change the way we work. How do we do common enrollment so that an individual can enroll once into multiple services? There are a series of different functions that we need to unify and coordinate across the system that we'll be doing in order to make the technology actually change the way that we deliver services. And then sustainability is a big part of that. To your point, Commissioner Boyce, we believe that the healthcare sector is going to be right behind us as a fast follower in this effort, investing in this work. But the private sector has a big role to play in the corporate foundations. We are having regular meetings with the corporate foundations because not just do they have a direct investment in the CIE, but they have these indirect investments in the nonprofits themselves as they go through their technology journey. And then we have relationships with you all. And so we've been spending the better part of a year with DCA Bivens, Juan, Adam, really figuring out what is the potential intersection between Franklin County and the CIE. We've come to a very clear and I think honest conclusion in the near term. In phase 1, it doesn't make sense for the CIE to connect into the county. We're just not there yet system-wise. But in phase 1, we're going to build out a roadmap for what that could look like and what's that feasible. And I'll let DCA Bivens comment on that. But I think we're really grateful for the time that you've given and all the directors. And I think we're in a really good place on how to move forward. But
Please.
Joy Bivens, Deputy County Administrator of Health and Human Services. Thank you all so much for being here. Commissioners, as Jordan has stated, as you all know, we are bound by state and federal rules that prohibit us from doing certain things leading up to data. So we will be working closely with the group in trying to figure out what we can do, what we can implement, but we have to be, I'm glad we have these team of experts because there are just some federal rules we just cannot get around. And not to be difficult, but we have to protect, as you all know, you have to protect the public's data. Second thing, just really quick, it sounds like there have been multiple opportunities for multiple states utilizing this technology. I've only seen one, and it sounds like the business community has seen several. I would, if possible, I would like to see some of those to see how they're, the ones that I didn't see, but the other ones, how are they doing it? What does it look like? Because I don't have a reference for it. And when when you say community information exchange, you all know how folks listen and they're like, okay, you're gonna give out all my stuff. So we would just like to be more versed in it as well. And again, where we will work with you, hand, lock, and step, to build a system that we are legally allowed to build, systemly, that complements the public, but also one that is sustainable.
Of course. Yep. Yep. I do just want to add a few more things. So 211, let's just talk phase one. So between now and 2027, what are we going to do? So the county will be a road mapping exercise. What will it look like for the county to integrate? But don't expect the county to actually share data in phase one. We will be working to share data with the community-based organizations, so nonprofits, and then integrating with 211. So we've decided between 211, county input and others, that we need 211 and the CIE to have an integrated future. At a minimum, the 211 is the call center, and the CIE is the technology, but we think it's probably a deeper marriage than that potentially. And so we're going to start figuring out the feasibility and the business model around unifying those two assets. On the CBO side, the 4 sectors we're going to focus on is workforce, childcare, health, particularly infant mortality and food, and then housing. And those will be the kind of clusters of organizations we'll be focused on for the initial pilot and rollout of the system. So I wanted to make sure I added that. But at this point, I'll take any of your questions.
I do have several questions.
Go for it.
One, I want to start, though, with the link to the RISE Innovation Institute. And I know that early on, we had asked you all to be engaged in evaluation and in review of the proposal, and so I'd like to hear from you, Ms. Sidnor, about the work that you all did to evaluate CIE and throughout this process. And Ms. Davis, I'd love to hear from you as well about that process briefly. And I do have more questions. What I'm going to do is, because we got a long agenda to get through, I don't want to hold the meeting up. We'll set up another meeting, so I will do some, I'll be supporting it today, but I want to have a follow-up meeting to get through the rest of my questions. I do have 2 or 3 that I am going to ask on the record.
Yeah, so Commissioner Boyce, specifically about how do we vet this idea, what we did is look at other similarly situated communities that are taking advantage of community information exchanges. I like to think about this from the humanistic standpoint and just think about the same way that we all navigate getting access to whatever we all use on a day-to-day basis. Much of what we do is try and find the easiest, quickest, fastest solution that we can have possible, whether that's booking an airline ticket or ordering food. Unfortunately, what we have relegated many of people in our community to do is use services that don't provide them with ease of use and access. And so the Community Information Exchange essentially comes in to make this easier for people to just navigate getting to the resources that we all know that they desperately need. And so looking at other communities like San Diego, Rochester, New York, who have been able to invest resources and have tangible, actual, credible evidence of the impact of that work. And then also recognizing that they've been able to identify the point that you all have made very clear about sustainability. The healthcare community in California especially has been really behind the San Diego initiative and being able to demonstrate that not only are there cost savings for having a tool like a CIE, but there are human lives that are saved because people get out of crisis faster and get to the resources that we need. Lastly, I would say I had a privilege this last week of traveling across the South, and I had to navigate some roads that weren't highways, that were state routes. And it is much more challenging to get from city to city on state route than it is highway. And so what we know the CIE has the opportunity to do is create a highway for our residents to be able to get to the resources that they need faster, to reduce the number of people that are living in a state of crisis, and to better support our care managers who spend a lot of their time in anguish trying to make sure that the people that they care for are getting what they need.
Great, and to be clear, looks like there's a formal relationship, so are you the fiscal agent for CIE development, so you will be able to work closely with the county to monitor the progress, the deliverables, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, we have a contractual relationship with Smart Columbus where we are the fiscal agent. In addition to being the fiscal, we actually have responsibility for ensuring that Smart Columbus and the team are adhering to kind of the standards that are put in place to make sure we're centering residents, that we're seeking to do no harm, that we're protecting data. And so we work collaboratively with them to make sure that the residents are protected, the county's investment is protected, and that the executive council that's been assembled to kind of oversee the day-to-day operations with the staff are meeting the requirements that are necessary in the agreements that are established.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to continue my line of, I don't know if you have any questions of Bill. I'll be quick, I promise. Ms. Davis, have you all consulted with NACO? NACO spent the better part of a year doing a poverty review, and I know Multnomah County and Maricopa County are also places where they've got substantial data systems in place that I think would be valuable. But moreover, I would reach out to NACO
Great.
and connect with them to see what they've already sort of collectively gotten that might be able to inform. And I would actually even encourage you to include NACO on the working group, the advisory working group.
That's a good idea.
Because I
Yeah.
think they have a lot of resources that are, I see Frumkin saying he's doing that. They have a lot of resources that I think can save us time and money in terms of redevelopment. So I want to
great
just throw
idea.
that out there. Thank you. And then I'm going to save my questions for our direct
Okay.
meeting. However, the one thing I do want to point out is the question I want to do publicly is that talk about the operating budget after it is developed. You know, I know you've got the budget laid out here, and I'm going to want details on the 2-year budget that you submitted. But talk about the operating budget once the system's built out, and you have to just go year to year, what
Yeah.
that looks like and what that need is going to be.
So I will say what I'm estimating now. Factors that could change that are based off the contracts that we get in with different technology vendors. We are going to go to an RFP at the beginning of the year. We're working on a draft. We have review committees going through that. The county will be involved in every level of that, including the business and contracting phase. Our hope is we can contract that up front to get a longer-term operations arrangement at a lower cost. But all of that is to be seen. We should be in contract come summer. Not knowing where that will fully land, we think that we're roughly between a $3 and $5 million annual budget. The swing there would include how much of the 211 operations do we take on inside of the CIE operation. So do those remain two separate community assets? Do they become the same? Other factors in there, how many shared services become the responsibility of the CIE initiative versus in silos. So some of the work that Commissioner Crawley mentioned around data maturity in organizations, it doesn't make sense for nonprofits to go in every organization to build data science into all of their budgets. That's not a good use of community dollars. Can the CIE provide some of those common services for other nonprofits? That might change the personnel model, for instance. So those are some of the unknowns, but the thought is we will have that pretty nailed down. First is the contract that we get into in the summer. The second is then figuring out the needs assessment, which we're in the process of doing now, which we should have by the end of the calendar year, so that in 2026 we have a solid business model and our fundraising around it.
And I would encourage you to really start to dive deep into that now, because now is the time you should be raising those funds.
Yeah.
Now is the time to sort of plant the seeds with the private sector and other entities where they can pick up the pieces once it's created in there. The other thing I would encourage you to do is think about it in terms of future values as opposed to present values. Today it might be 2.5 million or 3 million, but in 2027, 28 it'll be higher.
Sure.
And we already know what's happening with inflation and whatnot, and so today's costs aren't really what they're going to look like 2-3 years from now. And I would
Sure.
encourage you to sort of get ahead of that as you're raising money to sustain the operations.
And I'd be remiss to not share the city's $5 million that's also been secured, legislated, and contracted. $2 million will be drawn out for 2025, 2026. The remaining $3 million will be used in 2027 as a bridge of that sustainability model as well.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah.
Administrator Wilson?
President Boyce, Commissioner Crawley, Commissioner O'Grady, I just got one more component of this partnership that I'd like to have some comment made. While I serve on the CEI Governance Committee, I rely heavily upon our twin CIEs, our Chief Information Officers, as it relates to this project, both Adam Frumpkin and Juan Torres. They will be side by side as we look at this and working in collaboration with the rest of the Smart Columbus team, which I've had the opportunity to be involved in some of the interviews. So I know we got some top flight people as a part of this team. But anytime you endeavor into these activities where failure is really not an option for you, given investment that we're looking to make, I just want to have Mr. Frumpkin and Mr. Torres talk about their role in this process as they partner with me, specifically as the county's investment is here over the next couple of years and beyond.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you, Administrator Wilson. This is more, as you have already stated, more than a technology project. It's going to require us to make changes across the entire ecosystem of our community. And our job, myself, Juan, we've already been actively involved in the evolution of the CIE to where it is today. Part of our job alongside Administrator Wilson, DCA Bivens, and HHS administration is to be involved in the forthcoming RFP process to ensure the direction and our involvement and your investment is being looked at and how we're moving it forward. So we've done a lot of research. Fortunately, Administrator Wilson and I were actually able to go to the CIE conference and look at some different things and what we've learned about that and what it does for the community, from helping the community members and organizations to easily access relevant services and resources, and facilitates timely dissemination of information about available programs and services. But it's most importantly the things that you've talked about also, which is the data sharing and interoperability, which facilitates data exchange between organizations to create a more integrated support system for our community, and helps us to serve not only the providers, but make sure that the providers have up-to-date information about the members of our community that are seeking services. And what that does is it allows our community to actually be empowered and promotes transparency and trust. And that's important to all of us, and we've talked about it on a regular basis, by providing equitable access to information and for all of our community members. So how that works is what we've heard them, the CIE team, talk about is data-driven outcomes. And you brought that up as well. It facilitates the collection and analysis of data on what our community needs, the services that are effective and will be effective, but also program outcomes, which is very important not only for us, but as making this sustainable. So how that gets us where we need to go is it creates and builds an organization and an opportunity and a community that can trust where their data is because it's helping them. And so what this does is it ensures that all of our residents in our community have equal access to information and services they need, but focuses on the equity and addressing systemic barriers and empowering marginalized groups by utilizing data and providing the services that we have available to us. So
I think I'll just close out with, I think from the operational side, coming through Job and Family Services, having an understanding of technology systems, the need in our community, the growth in services, demand from JFS, Office on Aging, Child Support, and our innovative programs, Just Policy and Programs, really coming to the table. And as Jordan mentioned, phase one could be a challenge of unifying systems. But ultimately, we need to work hand in hand, understanding what technology the county has, what is being provided by our nonprofits, and how we actually unify these so that way when a resident starts to come in services for One Door, which has been a major initiative, tying into all of this together as a truly a full ecosystem of the county, not nonprofits versus county, not county versus nonprofits. A resident needs services. How do we get them the fastest services and moving forward and being prosperous in the county?
Thank you. Any further questions or comments?
I only have one final comment,
Well,
President
you said
Boyce.
that last time.
President Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, Commissioner Cross. I just say to the credit of this board, while this CIE is critically important, it's gonna also complement the Franklin County One Door, which we will not be in a position where we don't need a brick and mortar building where people can go into and there's a no wrong door approach. And I just want to credit DCA Bivens and her team and DCA Long for the monies that will be expended to make the building that you all approved recently for the purchase to serve as the Franklin County One Door. There's an entire team working on that. Also, I can't emphasize enough the importance of the 211 system being modernized and being improved to really work for our residents. That is critical because many of our residents, particularly our seniors, need to be able to dial a number and have technology work for them to give them the assistance they need. And individuals with developmental disabilities or other ways that they are developmentally challenged, we need a 211 system that is better than we've ever had in this community. And then lastly, the CIE is the click. So it's either click, walk in, or dial ultimately, and you all have been at the forefront of making the investments as we work towards that. Thank you.
Those 3 points.
We didn't have briefing, Commissioner O'Grady, so I'm trying to give proper just due to this because we didn't have the
We do
opportunity.
need to apologize to everybody because this is like briefing session and general session all in one.
Yeah, we missed it. I called Ken late last night, like, hey, man, we didn't have briefing, so I got some questions here, so.
We normally have briefing on Thursdays,
yeah.
and that was Thanksgiving, so.
So I guess I'll just wrap it up then with this to say that we're going to be watching very closely as this is developed and evolved. And at no point do I want us to feel like we're done. Even 2-3 years from now, we have so much to do to evolve as a community. And I just, again, to the business community side, being on One Columbus gives me an opportunity, gives me an opportunity to see the economic development decision process, and moreover, how companies that are considering coming to our region look at data, not specifically this data, but just data in general. And I know that Mr. McDonald, he's very good at collecting that data and presenting it, but often it is demographic data that doesn't necessarily have the weakness component identified and show that we're working toward it. And so I think this is a strategic move. And Ms. Davis, I look forward to our next meeting and appreciate it's a strong-looking team up there together. So, but know you're on the hook. This is a lot of money, and there's a lot of expectations behind it. And the residents of Central Ohio are counting on us collectively. So, thank you so much.
Can I really,
Please, Commissioner Grady.
very, very briefly say that this is, in my time here, this is one thing that has been very, has been anticipated, and probably more so than almost anything else, and has been, there's a lot of excitement about this. And it is, but at the same time, that's, I think, also why there's been so many questions, and there's been so much, anticipation and so much excitement and so many, and why there's been so many phone calls back and forth and so much, but where there's a lot of excitement here. So, you know, we really appreciate, again, all the work that's gone in. And as Commissioner Boyce says, there'll be a lot more questions going forward and a lot more, you know, a lot more conversations going forward. So thank you. I apologize. It's exciting.
If there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 94024.
Second.
Been seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 94024 has been adopted. Resolution number 94124, resolution authorizing a COVID-19 recovery grant with the Mid-Ohio Food Collective to assist with Eastland Prosperity Center and for expanding the food pantry network in the amount of $3 million.
Commissioners, this resolution will provide a COVID-19 grant in the amount of $3 million to the Mid-Ohio Food Collective to assist with the Eastland Prosperity Center and to provide resources to expand the food pantry network. The Eastland Prosperity Center will turn a former Kroger shopping center into a 67,000 square foot human services hub designed to uplift and empower residents of Eastland and the surrounding region. Joining us virtually is Matt Habash, President and CEO of the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, and Mike Cochran, Senior Vice President of Communications and Public Affairs, to answer any questions. And if there are no questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 94124.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 94124 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Thank you, Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 94224, resolution authorizing an affordable housing development agreement with Woda Cooper Companies Incorporated to receive funding through the Magnet Fund Program, Granville Woods Lofts, to assist in the development of an affordable housing project in the amount of $1,116,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Manuel Torres, Assistant Director of Economic Development and Planning. And this first resolution is for an affordable housing development agreement with Woda Cooper Companies, Inc. from the 2022 application round of the Magnet Fund Program in an amount of $1,016,000. Woda has developed over 16,000 units and has been developing, owning, and managing affordable housing projects since 1990. Woda proposed a two-phase development plan, and this resolution relates to the first phase of the project, to be named Granville Woods Lofts. For this first phase, Woda intends to invest approximately $29.3 million. The site is located at 1826 East Livingston Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, near East Livingston and Nelson Road intersection. Under the terms of this agreement, Woda will deliver 52 units affordable at 50, 60, and 80% of the area median income. The project will also have 6 non-rent restricted units. And for avoidance of doubt, only the 52 affordable units are eligible for reimbursement under this agreement, and any expenses related to the development of the 6 non-rent restricted units are not eligible for reimbursement. With us virtually today, we have from Woda Cooper Companies, Development Vice President Jonathan McKay, and pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
I just have a question. So is 52 units total, or how many total units are in the lofts? Just 52 are affordable?
52 are affordable, 58 total units, 6
Or non-rent
are
restricted?
non-rent
Okay.
restricted.
All right, if there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 94224.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 94224 has been adopted. Resolution number 94324, resolution authorizing an affordable housing development agreement with Woda Cooper Companies Incorporated to receive funding through the Magnet Fund Program, Granville Wood Lofts 2, to assist in the development of an affordable housing project in the amount of $1,160,000.
Commissioners, as part of Woda's proposed two-phase development, which we mentioned just a moment ago, this resolution relates to the second phase of the project, and as just stated, to be named Granville Woods Lofts 2. for this second phase, WODA intends to invest approximately $21.9 million. The site, again, it's located at 1826 East Livingston Avenue in Columbus, and this is just north of the Driving Park Community Recreation Center. Under the terms of this agreement, WODA will deliver 60 units of affordable housing between 30% and 80% AMI. With us, again, virtually, we have Mr. McKay. And pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 94324.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution number 94324 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention.
Thank you.
Yep, Jobs and Family Services.
Resolution number 94424, resolution approving sub-award agreements with multiple community agencies for the Franklin County Out-of-School Youth Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program Services in the amount of $5,798,851.29.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Carmen Barnes, Assistant Director, Job and Family Services. The Franklin County Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program, branded AMP by Franklin County, provides opportunity youth ages 16 to 24 with the opportunity to develop employment skills, obtain industry-recognized credentials, and participate in meaningful work experiences. This program has two tracks. One is focused on out-of-school youth, which is covered in this resolution, and then later on the agenda, we'll discuss in-school youth. Again, the program is designed to promote academic and employment success, reduce barriers, and provide opportunities for education, training, and credentials. In March of 2022, we released an RFP in conjunction with Aspire to provide these services to the community. 5 agencies were recommended for the Out-of-School AMP Awards. This is the third and final year of this RFP award. During this last program year, approximately 1,100 out-of-school youth participated in CCMEP or AMP, with 62% achieving measurable skills gains through and toward industry-recognized credentials or employment. Under this agreement, 1,150 out-of-school youth will be served. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 94424.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 94424 has been adopted. Resolution number 94524, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Columbus Urban League for the Journey to Wealth program in the amount of $105,000.
The Journey to Wealth program through Columbus Urban League aims to offer participants a pathway to financial independence by providing historically disadvantaged communities with the resources needed to achieve economic security. Journey to Wealth offers comprehensive financial education and one-on-one coaching. Participants engage in a curriculum covering essential financial topics such as budgeting, debt management, and planning. And under this award, the Columbus Urban League will assist 75 Franklin County residents with the goals of opening bank accounts, establishing emergency savings funds, establishing new lines of credit, improving their credit score, and establishing and increasing their knowledge of wealth-building opportunities and strategies. This subaward aligns with the Rise Together Blueprint Goal number 9, and pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for, sorry.
Is this the 700 or the?
It used to be.
It's a new name?
Yes.
Okay.
It was rebranded probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay, and how do folks get in? Are they going to have on their website? How
They
do
are.
folks get in? Okay. good.
There's a link on the website.
How many folks
brings
are they
them
going to
to
assist? I'm sorry.
75.
75, okay. And can we get a report from can I get the report from the last several years they've been doing this?
Absolutely.
See how many people have purchased houses, people have increased their credit score. I've heard it's a great program. I just wanted to see the outcomes.
We can.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. If there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 94524.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution number 94524 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention. Resolution number 94624, resolution approving subaward agreements with multiple community agencies for the Franklin County In-School Youth Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program Services in the amount of $6,369,999.99.
This resolution covers year-round AMP programming for the in-school youth ages 16 through 18. So following the joint RFP, 4 agencies were awarded contracts to provide services for in-school youth. This marks the third and final year of those awards under that RFP. During the most recent award period, 950 in-school youth participated in the year-round AMP programming, with 71% successfully completing high school or earning an industry-recognized credential. Under this award, AMP providers will serve an estimated 1,200 in-school youth throughout Franklin County. The agreement aligns with Rise Together Poverty Blueprint Goal Number 11, and pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 94624.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 94624 has been adopted. Resolution number 94724, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the National Center for Urban Solutions for programming to engage fathers and advocacy efforts supporting early childhood education in the amount of $170,000.
The NCUS Calling All Dads initiative provides opportunities for fathers to engage in promoting the importance of early childhood education. During the prior award period, NCUS engaged over 200 dads, providing resource information on early childhood education and also participating in more than 12 father-focused community forums and educational sessions. Through targeted fatherhood engagement strategies, the program has impacted over 2,400 fathers and 36 child care facilities throughout the county. This year, NCUS will continue to conduct outreach to promote early learning, provide fathers with educational learning tools, and host community conversations on the importance of fathers' involvements in their child's education. The program activities will be aligned with the Year 3 Franklin County Rise Together initiative, the Franklin County Rise initiative. The agency plans to enroll 250 dads during this award period. This resolution aligns with Rise Together Blueprint Goal Number 13, and pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
Question.
Yes.
So, thank you. For the Rise Child Care Initiative,
Mhm.
can you explain that again, what Calling All Dads is going to be doing with Rise?
Yes, so they will do, the work that they will do will be in support of RISE. So by bringing them together with the other partners in RISE and having them meet on a regular basis, we'll make sure that we're all
Aligning.
aligned.
Oh,
Exactly.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And Carmen, when those meetings are scheduled, would you let us know?
We will.
There's several work groups, and just so they have the most up-to-date information. And then for the last question, can I get a report on the past 2 years they've been doing this, on
We
the
can.
outcomes?
We can.
Thanks.
Thank you. If there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 94724.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 94724 has been adopted. Resolution number 94824, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Center for Healthy Families Incorporated for pregnant and parenting teen services in the amount of $156,000.
Since its inception, the Center for Healthy Families has helped more than 3,000 teen families move towards self-sufficiency and self-advocacy on behalf of their children and families. The Healthy Families Connection Collaborative is the center's direct service model designed to assist teen mothers and fathers ages 13 through 19. Through the connection, these teen parents are actively participating in evidence-based interventions that promote personal growth in the areas of health and wellness, parenting interventions, early childhood development, education, and career planning. The program also offers school-based programs to support parenting teens throughout the school year. During the last program, the center supported 45 pregnant and parenting teens, and they will look to support 50 more throughout the county during the upcoming award period. This agreement aligns with the Rise Together Blueprint Goal Number 8, and pending any questions, I ask for approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 94824.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 94824 has been adopted. Resolution number 94924, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Derek L. Owens Group LLP for adult court diversion alternative services in the amount of $458,914.20.
The Derek O. Owens Group provides court diversion alternatives to address criminal and/or traffic issues for adults with open cases in various Franklin County courts. Enrollment in these diversion services help low-level offenders avoid incarceration. The group offers a variety of in-person and virtual services, including court advocacy, education and intervention services, job readiness courses, and employment assistance, as well as reinstating driver's license and driving privileges. Individuals who receive these services are also referred on for supportive service needs after assessment. Under the previous awards, attorneys from across Franklin County referred 255 justice-involved residents to the Owens Group, and under this award, the Owens Group plans to provide intervention and diversion services to another 255 TANF-eligible adults, as well as justice-involved youth ages 18 to 24 that are enrolled in the AMP program that may be facing criminal or traffic issues with the Franklin County court systems. The agreement aligns with Rise Together Blueprint Goal Number 4, and pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 949-24.
Second?
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 949-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 950-24, resolution approving a contract agreement with Jewish Family Services for the Ohio Works First Work Activities Services and Management in the amount of $1,500,000.
A central component of the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program, which in Ohio is known as Ohio Works First, or OWF, is the emphasis on work. Per federal regulations, adult OWF recipients, with a few exceptions, must participate in specified work activities as a condition of receiving cash benefits. We've historically partnered with community organizations to help administer the program and to meet work participation requirements and avoid sanctions. This past July, we released an RFP inviting qualified organizations to assist with the management of allowable work-required activities that support OWF families and attaining unsubsidized employment leading to self-sufficiency. Following the evaluation of all proposals, Jewish Family Services, which has been a longtime OWF partner, was recommended for funding. Under this agreement, Jewish Family Services will assume the day-to-day operations of managing the OWF work-required activities, as well as components of the Achieve More and Prosper program that target work-required young adults. The agency will provide 450 OWF work-required residents per month with services to help identify and secure placement for work-required experiences, monitor and report weekly participation hours, provide various work development services, and advance their self-sufficiency, also offers case management, supportive services, and job placement opportunities. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 950-24.
Second?
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 950-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 951-24, resolution authorizing a grant agreement to Women in support of Women's Faces of Courage Empowerment Conference in the amount of $150,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Caitlin Looney, Deputy Director of Justice Services with the Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Women to Women is a nonprofit organization focused on empowering women, girls, and families through holistic programming designed to promote self-sufficiency and increase economic mobility. Through this grant agreement of $150,000, excuse me, the organization will host the Women's Faces of Courage Empowerment Conference for women who are reentering society after incarceration, survivors of domestic violence and human trafficking, those facing homelessness and generational poverty, and those with behavioral health challenges. The conference will provide access to life skills training, linkages to community resources, workshops focused on increasing access to job opportunities, healthcare services, and other tools that support residents on their path to self-sufficiency. Details on the date and location of the conference are still being finalized, but our office will make sure the community, the Board of Commissioners, County Administration, and agencies are made aware when those details are available. And we do have available in the audience with us today the fearless and persistent president of Women to Women, Ms. Sally Gibson, should you have any questions. But pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
Commissioner Boyce, Commissioners, Joy Bibbins, Deputy County Administrator of Health and Human Services. Thank you so much, and thank you, Mrs. Gibson, for all the work that you do with this particular population. We appreciate it. The only thing that I will request is for the women that will be designated to attend this conference if the Health and Human Service agencies can work with them intently so that we can wrap around them those contractual supportive services that we have. If they're reentering, we already have contracts on the street to support some of their livelihood, and we would like to be engaged in that. Thank you.
All right, if there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 951-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 951-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 952-24, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Administrator to approve a Year 2 sub-grant award in contract for services with Franklin County Public Health for harm reduction services related to the FY 2022 Comprehensive Opioid Stimulant and Substance Abuse Program grant in the amount of $227,478.75.
In 2022, our office received a grant award from the Federal Bureau of Justice Assistance COSUP grant program to support a combination of harm reduction, recovery, and treatment approaches intended to reduce overdose deaths, promote public safety, and support equitable access to addiction services. Included in the application for the grant was Franklin County Public Health and their efforts to deploy harm reduction vending machines into the geographic areas hardest hit by the overdose crisis. Franklin County Public Health opted to receive their portion of the grant award in 3 annual sub-awards, with the first being awarded in June of 2023. This year, their annual sub-award is the amount of $227,478.75 to continue supporting the deployment, maintenance, and innovation of their harm reduction vending machines. These machines offer free naloxone kits, safer sex kits, pregnancy tests, and basic wound care provisions in a way that offers anonymity and 24/7 access to our community. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 952-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 952-24 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sanitary engineers, next.
Resolution number 953-24, resolution authorizing a second contract modification to the contract agreement with Driven Excavating LLC for the Kanawha-Waslin Sanitary Sewer Project, an increase in an amount not to exceed $521,256.29 for a total amount of $8,817,987.52.
Morning, Commissioners and County Administration. I'm Ryan Stowe, Assistant Director of Sanitary Engineering. We are requesting the approval of a second contract modification to our construction contract with Driven Excavating for our Kanawha-Roslin Sanitary Sewer Project located in Sharon Township. First contract modification was approved via Resolution 720-24, which increased the contract value by $468,542.25 to cover road reconstruction due to poor soil conditions that were unforeseen. Once into the road construction, it became apparent that additional labor and materials were needed to complete the work. An additional $521,256.29 is estimated to be needed to complete the project, which will bring the total contract value to $8,817,987.52. This department has worked closely with Office of Management and Budget to secure the necessary funds, which will come from the Sanitary Engineering's Capital Sewer Capital Outlays Fund 5057. This resolution is also requesting the approval of a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $521,257. Pending any questions or comments, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 953-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 953-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 954-24, resolution authorizing a final contract modification with Kirk Brothers Company Incorporated to close out the Harrisburg Pump Station improvements, a decrease of $38,228.87 for an overall amount of $594,271.13.
Per Resolution 569-23, the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, on behalf of the Franklin County Department of Sanitary Engineering, entered into a construction contract with Kirk Brothers Company to provide labor, materials, and equipment for the Harrisburg Pump Station Improvements Project.
This project has been completed to the satisfaction of the sanitary engineer. The final cost of the project is less than the initial amount, $632,500 by $38,228.87. Sanitary engineer wishes to adjust the final contract value to the actual cost of $594,271.13 through a contract modification to officially close out the successful project. Any questions or comments? Respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 95424.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 95424 has been adopted. Resolution number 95524, resolution authorizing a contract agreement with Driven Excavating LLC for the North Hague Avenue Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project in the amount of $5,362,175.70.
Within the county's North Hague service area located in Franklin Township, there are approximately 85 homes without access to centralized sanitary sewer and rely on home sewer treatment systems to dispose of their wastewater. To bring sanitary sewer to these homes, the Department of Sanitary Engineering engaged GPD Group to provide design, bidding, and construction phase services. Bids from 2 contractors were received on August 30th and reviewed by the sanitary engineer and their consultant, GPD Group. Based on the reviews, Driven Excavating LLC was found to be the lowest and best bidder for a contract cost not to exceed $5,362,175.70. The cost of construction for this project will be paid with funding secured from the Water Pollution Control Loan Fund as jointly administered by the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency and the Ohio Water Development Authority as authorized by Resolution 571-23 and the Ohio Public Works Commission as authorized by Resolution 648-20. Project will start in January of 2025 and is expected to take 345 days. Project should be complete by the end of 2025. Pending any questions or comments, we ask for approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 955-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 95524 has been adopted. Resolution number 95624, resolution authorizing a contract agreement with Driven Excavating LLC for the South Grenier Avenue Sanitary Sewer Main Replacement Project in the amount of $1,188,983.
Within the county Sanitary District 4, located in Prairie Township, there's an approximately 900-foot section of critical 15-inch sanitary sewer that is in need of replacement due to signs of failure. Through our existing general engineering contract, this department engaged Arcadis to provide engineering, design, and construction phase services. Bids from 3 contractors were received in August and reviewed by the sanitary engineer and Arcadis. Based on these reviews, Driven Excavating LLC was found to be the lowest and best bidder for a contract cost not to exceed $1,188,983. Cost of construction for this project will be paid with funding secured from the Ohio Public Works Commission as authorized by Resolution 690-21. This project will also start in January of 2025 and is expected to take 180 days. The project will be complete by mid-2025. Pending any questions or comments, we ask the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 95624.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 95624 has been adopted.
Thank you. Human Resources next.
Resolution number 95724, resolution authorizing a contract modification number 2 and extension number 1 with Standard Insurance Company for employer-paid basic life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance and employee-paid supplemental life insurance in the amount of $1,600,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jody Lees, Franklin County Human Resources Benefits and Wellness Office. This contract allows a 34-month extension of the employer-paid and employee-paid life insurance programs. This contract also includes an increase in basic life rates with all other rates remaining the same, a 24-month or 2-year guarantee of rates, and a rate cap for the remaining 10 months of the contract, and a renewal of the annual tech subsidy, which is used to improve the member experience for enrollment in the life insurance program. So pending any questions or comments, I request approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval, Resolution 95724.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 95724 has been adopted. Resolution number 95824, resolution authorizing a contract modification number 2 and extension number 1 with Metropolitan Life Insurance Company to provide voluntary group short and long-term disability, legal plan, and pet insurance to members of the Franklin County Cooperative Health Improvement Program in the amount of $185,000.
So MetLife currently provides several ancillary or voluntary programs, including short-term disability, long-term disability, and a legal program. This resolution extends these programs for 24 months and modifies the contracted services as follows. It incorporates a rate decrease and a 24-month rate guarantee for both disability programs. It guarantees the legal plan rates for 24 months. And it adds a new customizable direct pay pet insurance option, incorporating multiple discounts options, including a military discount and a discount for employees working in an animal-related field. Pending any questions or comments, I request approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval, Resolution 95824.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 95824 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Purchasing.
Resolution number 95924, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $7,023,787.60.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Balanier, Director of Purchasing, and joining me is Andrina Austin, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. We have two resolutions for you this morning. These are the two final PO resolutions of 2024. This first resolution requests your approval of 181 purchase orders. The county auditor has pre-certified available funding, and Andrina has the supplier diversity data for you this morning.
Thank you, Director. Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. 11 of the purchase orders being presented are being awarded to small and emerging businesses totaling $61,588.55. These awards are distributed as follows: 1% to small businesses, 4 to women-owned businesses, and 1 to economically disadvantaged enterprises. Once approved, 5 agencies will provide equitable and inclusive opportunities to small businesses this week, and these agencies are Domestic Relations and Juvenile Court, Emergency Management, Human Resources, Public Facilities Management, and the Sheriff's Department. Year-to-date, Franklin County Board of Commissioner agencies have awarded 536 purchase orders to small and emerging businesses totaling $22,990,406.58. And pending any of your questions or comments, we respectfully request your approvals.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval, Resolution 95924.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 95924 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Resolution number 96024, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $95,308.96.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 4 purchase orders. The county auditor has pre-certified available funding, and pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval, Resolution 96024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution number 96024 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 96124, resolution authorizing the county administrator to approve community grants and contracts for services, supplies, products, and goods for an amount not to exceed $1 million.
Good morning, Commissioner. Janine Hummer, First Assistant Chief Counsel for the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office, Gary Tyack serving as prosecutor. This resolution serves to provide the county administrator authority to take actions necessary to keep the county business moving forward in case of an emergency. You will note on Section 1 the limitations regarding the use of this resolution. Furthermore, there are reporting requirements set forth directly in the resolution that there is supposed to be a report sent to the commissioners within 10 days of acting on this emergency authority. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 961-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 961-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 962-24, resolution authorizing the county administrator to approve and execute contracts not to exceed $350,000 per contract.
Again, Commissioners, this is Janine Hummer, First Assistant Chief Counsel for the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office. This resolution is put forth to address the period of time where the commissioners are not available. This period of time is set forth in the resolution and authorizes the county administrator to execute contracts given the monetary limitation. Again, this sets forth procedures and reporting requirements, and it is not intended to limit the previous authority granted by the Board of Commissioners. Pending any questions, I'd ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 962-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 962-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 963-24, resolution authorizing the county administrator to approve purchase orders not to exceed $5 million per weekly purchase order batch.
Commissioners, this resolution goes hand in hand with the previous resolution. As you can see that there was authority granted for the contractual obligation. This resolution is the permission by the Board of Commissioners to authorize the purchase orders connected to the previous resolution. We'd ask for your approval pending any questions.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 963-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 963-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 964-24, resolution authorizing the issuance, repayment, and extension of various interfund loans.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Tlarek with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution is the annual review conducted by OMB regarding interfund loans that are required for cash flow purposes, primarily related to federal grants. The resolution authorizes the repayment of 3 interfund loans, the issuance of 1 new interfund loan, and the extension of 8 other interfund loans for 1 additional year. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 964-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 964-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 965-24, resolution reappointing Charles A. Schneider to the Franklin County Law Library Resources Board.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration. Michael Ruhrman, Assistant Director of Community Appointments. This resolution seeks to reappoint Charles A. Schneider, a member in good standing, to the Franklin County Law Library Resources Board for a term ending December 31st, 2029. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 965-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 965-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 966-24, resolution reappointing Wilson Browning to the Franklin County Children's Services Board of Trustees.
This resolution is seeking to reappoint Wilson Browning, a member in good standing, to the Franklin County Children's Services Board of Trustees, with the term expiring on December 31st, 2028. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 966-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 966-24 has been adopted. Resolution number 967-24, resolution reappointing Tammy Wharton to the Franklin County Children's Services Board of Trustees.
This resolution is seeking to reappoint Tammy Wharton, a member in good standing, to the Franklin County Children's Services Board of Trustees, with a term expiring on December 31st, 2028. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 967-24.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 96724 has been adopted. Resolution number 96824, resolution reappointing Nicole Russell Washington to the Franklin County Children's Services Board of Trustees.
This resolution seeks to reappoint Nicole Russell Washington, a member in good standing, to the Franklin County Children's Services Board of Trustees with a term expiring on December 31st, 2028. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask for your approval.
No comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 96824.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 96824 has been adopted. Resolution number 96924, resolution reappointing Catherine Strauss to the Board of Trustees of the Columbus Metropolitan Library.
This resolution seeks to reappoint Catherine Strauss, a member in good standing, to the Board of Trustees of the Columbus Metropolitan Library with a term expiring December 31st, 2031. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 96924.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 96924 has been adopted. Resolution number 97024, resolution appointing members to the Board of Franklin County Board of Developmental Disabilities and correcting a previous appointment term ending date.
This resolution seeks to appoint Rebecca Swartz and Dr. Catherine Silver Kelly to the Board of Franklin County Board of Developmental Disabilities, with terms ending on January 26, 2029, and correcting the appointment term ending date of Samuel Davis, a current member, to reflect January 26, 2025. Pending any questions, we respectfully ask your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 97024.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Resolution number 97024 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Board of Commissioners.
We're going to do journalizations first.
Okay.
Okay, and we have three. On December 3rd, 2024, the county administrator pursuant to resolution number 81724 hereby adopts and approves the emergency transfer plan for the Emergency Solutions Grant and Continuum of Care for victims of domestic violence, dating violence, and/or stalking to meet the requirements of 24 CFR 576.409 for applicable activities which are covered by the Violence Against Act as amended. This journalization reflects that on November 4th, 2024, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development formally reviewed and approved the county's emergency transfer plan and determined that it meets the requirements of 24 CFR 576.409 subsection D. HUD's approval of the county's emergency transfer plan and the adoption and approval of the county's emergency transfer plan are hereby journalized.
All right, Board of Commissioners.
Oh, no, I got two more, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Case number ANX-20-24, an expedited type 2 annexation petition, ANX-2024, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on November 18th, 2024. The petition is requesting to annex 1.837 acres from Mifflin Township to the city of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners at the first general session meeting of 2025. The sites are 2845 Morse Road, PID number 190-003146, 2855 Morse Road, PID number 190-002127, 2875 Morse Road, PID number 190-001934. And last, the document that has been presented to each of you today has been also provided to your offices via email and is being journalized as required under Resolution number 724, Policies and Procedures for Approval of Certain Subscriptions and Leases of Equipment, and Resolution number 68324, the no-cost amendment resolution. The clerk's office has been tracking each contract that is signed under these resolutions based on authorities, and the list provided to you will be captured in today's meeting minutes.
All right.
Okay. Resolution number 97124, resolution of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners to convene into executive session for the purpose of considering personnel matters and to confer with Franklin County Prosecutor's Office concerning pending or imminent litigation.
Move to convene into executive session to consider the appointment, employment dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, and to confer with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of pending or imminent court action.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Resolution number 97124 has been adopted. We are now in executive session.